Okay, I'm going 6-1 now with my Selesnya counters in a Tinkerer's Cube, best of 1. So I lost the first game and wasn't sure about the power level of the deck, but I think that game went pretty bad for me. I didn't have much synergies then, and my start wasn't very explosive, and now I see that was just a one-time problem, or I hope it will stay this way. It's okay, I can't cast my 1-drop this way. I'm talking about this one. I can cast Shadow Spear, but it's not a good idea because I won't be able to cast my white spells this way unless I draw a plains. I could draw a plains for the first turn, but I think it's still pretty appealing, this hand. I don't want to mulligan it. So I would keep the same hand as a 6 after one mulligan and just ditch one of the lands. So I think it doesn't make sense to ditch it now, and I won't speculate on having a plains as a top deck. I will just play a top land. So I could maybe play castle as a top land and try to cycle it later. So now it looks much better since I have a lot of lands, but okay, it's still not bad. I will scry some lands on the bottom maybe now, so I'm gonna play this prince and scry. Okay, no lands here. I think I will keep it this way, so I can play Militia Bugler on the next turn and have at least one target for it, so this ability won't miss. So this makes sense. So this is much better. So I don't think I want to cast Tribunal for this Timoret. I suppose they can play something very powerful later, and I don't have many removal spells. I even scried, not scried, but had to put this green cartridge, this fighting aura on the bottom with when this ability resolved. So that's pretty harsh. So I think Flying Lifelinker is annoying enough. And I'm flatting out. I think I want to play something. So they're taking the exchange now. Or some flash now.
Want it, fight for it.
Quite a lot of lands. So I think it's beneficial to attack this Planeswalker. If they jump block, it will die after amassing, and if they don't jump block, they will lose a blocker that could. Both blockers could be annoying, and they could just take a hit for 4, and then both creatures would could be problematic, especially since I'm flooding out here.
The fire's out, but the embers burn on.
unfortunately I can't answer that, so if they mill the creature they will get another zombie. Four creatures in my graveyard, that's nice. Okay, that was great. Scavenging was performed really well against this deck, so that's just the synergies around Timara they were playing, and this, not this, um, this escape aura, and also they played a lot of removal, so they filled my graveyard, and I don't really use a lot of the graveyard synergies, so it was good for me to just exile my own creatures and hit them better. And also animation model is very nice with Scavenging Ooze, but it wasn't necessary, I think. So they didn't even want to check their top deck. Maybe if they had some removal, then having these tokens would perform very well. So animation model was maybe still was important. Maybe that's why they conceded. So if I had only one token, they could top deck a removal, maybe they wouldn't concede. But this way, I think their position was not great. Um, so okay. Uh, uh, let's see what can I get as rewards if you're interested. Um, So we can take another look at my deck if we're able. So this is okay. This is for the 5th win today, and for my the next level on Mastery Pass, I suppose. So that's these are not rewards for the draft. And before I claim them, I can watch. So I suppose the only graveyard synergy besides eating my own creatures with the Scavenging Ooze, the only one is this Eternalized creature. And maybe I missed something, but I think that's the only thing. So this is a creature I can not eat with Scavenging Ooze. It's not even it's an overstatement to call it a synergy. It's just some use of the graveyard. So when I have a Scavenging Ooze on the battlefield and this on in the graveyard, it would really take a specific spot to make me want to eat this creature with Scavenging Ooze. That might come up, but mostly this is the only thing I had to be careful of while using Ooze's ability on my own graveyard. So no, I suppose also we can count this Broodmoth, but this Broodmoth only means that I don't want to eat with Ooze in response to this trigger, or it would take a very, very specific situation to make me want to do that. Not get back my creature with flying, but put another counter on Ooze. It also might come up because my creature would die in an attack if they blocked with a first striker, and then if I eat it with Ooze, I would kill them. Then go for it. Not wait for it to come back as a flyer if it's the only creature that could be eaten, and and this one damage makes the difference, but it's really narrow. So this is the second card that might clash with Ooze's urge to scavenge. Yeah, this is everything. So 7-1, this deck performed really well. We see this. It has an aggro potential, counters synergies, is quite cheap, and this is a great combo with a lot of my cards, but especially Woodland Champion. That it's a loop, not an infinite loop, because you have to pay 1 mana per iteration. But if you have spare mana, you can and put some counter, maybe with Aspirant, not even paying any mana to put the counter, then you can pay 1 mana for the trigger of animation model, create a token, then this triggers, you get a counter, so you get another trigger from animation model, and all your lands can be tapped and give that many additional counters to champion and create that many tokens. So it can be a very powerful loop. And this was also great because even some sweepers or such could be ineffective against my creatures with counters. So I would get some vigilance tokens, and I could get spots where many of my creatures have counters. So here Loxodon could help with that a lot, or this Lunark. I didn't get to play this Lunark. I suppose it's great, but I haven't played it Never, I suppose. So here I got this in my deck, but I didn't get the chance to draw it in my games, or maybe I forget that I drew it somewhere, but I was killing them anyway and didn't have time to cast it. But I think I didn't even have it in my hand. Okay, so I'm really happy with this deck. This was my first Tinker's Cube in January, so it's available for some time now, and I just stopped playing ranked drafts and thought I could use the opportunity to play Tinker's Cube. So I'm taking my rewards now. So we will have some common or uncommon, a rare and a mythic rare. So this is Kaladesh uncommon. So I suppose they are uncommons at least. So maybe you don't get commons as a reward. So I don't suppose this is constructed playable. The effect could be powerful if you have some enters the battlefield triggers, but I don't think it will. You can keep 4 mana and this card in your historic deck. So let's see a rare. Verdant Force is always nice. This is a cool creature, but it was probably more powerful back in a day when it was first printed. Now you get some absurd upgrades. Even in Kaldheim there is a better version. This 7 mana Simic Serpent that creates a 3/3 on every on it during each upkeep. So it's a lot better. So it's multicolor, but still. So the casting cost is maybe harder, but it's for 7 mana and has also some nice bonuses, some activated ability where you can sacrifice these tokens and give this serpent indestructible, or tap something and activated ability can't be activated of this tapped permanent. So you can tap a planeswalker during the opponent's upkeep and prevent them from using loyalty abilities, for example, or just tap down blockers or attackers. So Verdant Force isn't that powerful now, and also we got this this in Ixalan, or Rivals of Ixalan. I don't remember where was this City's Blessing, but some creature for 5 mana that created a token every upkeep, so it had the worst stats, but was a better creature overall. And we got Sorin. Sorin should be on a list of cards to be considered for constructed if you will build some vampires deck in historic. It should get there, and I think I saw it somewhere. And vampires can be printed in future sets, so you don't know its ceiling in historic. So this is a card to remember and consider. So this is a fun card to have, but there are better versions. Sorin, I think, is the only constructed playable among these cards. So we can take another look at the reward structure. So at least 2 rares and 1 uncommon, and with 6 wins it's the same. And with 5, so here we have at least 1 rare, at least one. So we have 2 cards here, 2 cards here. Okay, and no, not 2. I was watching the image, but the text says that it's 3 cards. So at least one rare until until 5 wins, when you get at least 2 rares and some gold progresses. So that's the reward structure. You get your gold back at 5 wins, 5-3 score, and you have had your fun event and have 3 cards as a reward, and you profit from this event even with gold from 6 wins. Okay, so let's take a look how is my rank doing. So I didn't fall a lot from yesterday. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and if you haven't seen previous videos of this drafting, building a deck or some games, it's all available in a playlist linked in the description. See you.